standing as a person that's running.
Good afternoon.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Yes. And Officer, could you please state your full name and then spell it for the record?
My name is Forrest Shields, Forestshilds.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you employed?
How am I employed with the
Yes,
city
sir.
of Henderson? I'm a police sergeant.
How long have you worked as a police sergeant?
As a police sergeant, approximately 2 years, but as in law enforcement, on the team, assistant team leader, and then from there I tested out and promoted to sergeant and went to patrol as a patrol sergeant. And currently I'm assigned to our police academy in charge of training all the new recruits that are coming into the department.
That's an awesome responsibility, right?
Yes.
So then, turning your attention to August 7th, 2023, were you working as a patrol sergeant at that time?
Patrol sergeant, yes.
Okay. And what are some of the duties of a patrol sergeant?
Well, patrol sergeants, they typically have approximately 10 patrol officers assigned to them, and you have a specific area of the city that you're responsible for. This was a North Area Command, and you basically monitoring calls that they're going on. The patrol officers are actively patrolling their areas, responding to 911, emergency, non-emergency calls, and if they need assistance from a supervisor, they'll call you to the scene. Supervisors also monitoring the radio. If you think there's a call that may be out of the ordinary and they may need assistance, you'll start heading that way. If there's any critical incidents, you're typically one of the first supervisors on scene to get it stabilized until a watch commander can come out and take over.
So then, turning your attention to that date, was there sort of an out-of-the-ordinary scene that you responded to?
Yes.
And was that at 2698 Paladura Drive in Henderson?
Yes.
What was the nature of the call as you understood it?
Well, it came in as a medical call. Mom called and said that her son was injured and that he was bloody. And I recall like the dispatchers tried giving CPR instructions, and just the mom stated, however she stated, that she refused. The call note said that she refused CPR because he had no neck or head, but there was a lot of blood. So it was a medical call, basically. We were responding to unknown medical call.
Okay. So you respond to the address, is that right?
Yes.
And who was already there at the time? Do you know?
The firefighters and one of my guys, Officer Cooper. I think there was a couple officers. Typically the patrol officers, because they're out and about proactively patrolling, they'll get there first, then they'll call me to the scene. So when I got there, fire was on scene. A few of my guys were on scene. They kind of established a crime scene. I met them outside. They gave me a quick brief and went in.
So at the time you arrived then, the scene was locked down as a crime scene, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you notice when you got to the scene?
More like outside, inside?
Yeah, let's start with the outside. So starting from the outside, when you arrived to the scene, did you notice anything of note, at the front of the home?
So I noticed the garage was partially open, maybe, 3 feet, the exterior roll-up garage door. And at the front door, there was a older female and male sitting outside talking to one of my officers. Okay. And the front door was open. So I just went up and started talking to them.
When you say talking to them, talking to the male and female at the front door?
Yes.
Okay. And were they identified as Yoko Willette and Yoshida Masao?
Yes, it ended up being the person in the room. It was their mom and I believe her boyfriend.
So the deceased's mother?
Yes.
And the mother's boyfriend?
Yes.
So you walk into the front door of the scene. Walk us through what you saw, what you heard, things of that nature.
Okay, so I go in and my officer is escorting me back. So we walk into like the living room area, go into the kitchen, take a few steps down, and come back this way. It's like a converted living room area maybe that was converted into a bedroom. And the bed is to our right. And then laying on the bed was a body, the deceased. And then, do you want me to explain that more? Or?
Was there anything you noticed that you smelled when you were inside the room?
Well, initially, but we didn't know what it was until later. But you could kind of taste and smell like a little burning that's not common walking into people's houses.
So you described it as a burning, like a chemical burning smell. Was that right?
Yeah, like you could kind of taste it a little bit, and you could definitely felt it in your nostrils. But it wasn't really strong when we first went in. As strong as it seemed like it got stronger the longer we were there.
And more in the bedroom area?
Yes.
And you may have already said this, but was there anything unique about the body when you saw it?
Well, so like I said, I came from the kitchen, down the stairs, came around. The bed is here, and the body was laying face down on the bed, and the shoulders were kind of, if the body was laying this way, face down, the shoulders were kind of even with the edge of the bed. And I think it was partially wrapped in a blanket. And just things that I noticed, there didn't appear to be like signs of any struggle or anything. Like there wasn't a bunch messed up. It was just kind of laying there, like the arms weren't moved or anything. So it was pulled to the edge, and it just, in my mind, I thought, man, that was just a really clean cut, and then there was no head.
Okay.
And then
Now you had mentioned the body was laying on the bed. Is that right?
the body was laying on the bed, yes.
And was it on the body's stomach?
Yes,
the
on the
person's
stomach,
stomach?
laying face down. Yeah, the back was facing up.
Okay. And where the head would have been off the bed. Is that right?
Yes, like I said, the shoulders were kind of in line right with the edge of the bed. So the head would have been out here.
Did you see any blood at the scene?
I did see blood, but just from experience over the years, like you've seen people shot or stabbed or other lose a limb on a motorcycle accident or other type of trauma to the body, you would expect to see a lot more blood. And that was something that stuck in my head, is like, there's blood, but I would expect to see a lot more, especially under where the head would have been. Like, I don't know if like maybe something was put there or something to collect. It's what it appeared. Like maybe something was put there to collect the blood, because there was just what appeared to be not as much blood that you would imagine being there.
So no blood spattering, things of that nature that you might
Right.
normally
I remember there was blood on the mattress to the right of the body, and then a small, I mean, I don't know if that's small, I think there's a small amount of blood on the floor. And then, yeah, looking around, the wall wasn't very far away. You would expect to see some type of cast off, spatter, blood anywhere, but it was just, it appeared like a very clean scene, other than the body, the blood, the little blood.
Now, the color of the blood, was it unusual?
Yeah, typically, I mean, blood is pretty obvious, like we've all seen blood, but this one wasn't like the typical fresh red blood. It was more of like a black color.
And that's not normal based on your training and experience from what you've seen with bloody incidents.
So, based on my experience and being at other crime scenes, with, you know, the time lapse, no, not common and not consistent with what I've seen in the past.
Now, you mentioned to us that you have 28 years of law enforcement experience.
Yes,
Was this the first decapitation you responded to in your career?
I was thinking about that. I can't recall another decapitation.
Something you would probably remember if you did see it before, right?
Yes.
So it's not your everyday event. that you see something like this, right?
No.
Did you inspect any other rooms other than that bedroom where the body was found?
Yes, so after seeing that and just thinking about the blood, I went around. So if you go around the bed, back there's kind of like a little hallway that led into a bathroom. So I walked into the bathroom, and before I went to the bathroom, I remember having to step over 2 bottles of like cleaning, liquid cleaning bottles, some kind of Clorox or that type of thing, bottles laying on the carpet prior to getting to the bathroom. So stepped over those, went into the bathroom because I was wondering maybe if there was blood in the sink or blood in the bathroom or anything, but nothing appeared. There didn't appear to be any blood in there, and didn't appear to be any signs of struggle in there either. So the other things that I noticed that the mom had said outside, I confirmed what she had told me, where she said when she came downstairs, she thought it was weird that the dogs were locked out, and the interior garage door, the single door, was propped open, and then the exterior door was rolled up. So when I came out of the bathroom, I noticed that the interior garage door was propped open, the exterior roll-up door was part of the way up.
Okay. Now I want to turn back to the body that you saw. Did you notice anything peculiar emanating from the body?
It was actually pointed out by one of my officers on the scene. I was kind of by the foot of the bed, I think, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, this guy is smoking." And I was like, "What?" He said, "This guy is smoking. There's smoke coming from underneath him." So I go over there and see he's shining his flashlight. You could see kind of smoke coming off of the body, or what appeared to be some smoke coming off the body. So I told my officer, I said, "Hey, get a camera and start taking pictures of this scene," because in my mind I'm thinking, if this catches on fire, we need to get as much photos as we can before we lose the scene to a fire, and then firemen shooting water all over everything. So let's try and get as much photos as we can. So then we get closer, and he's shining his light, and then you can really start. It was coming, like I said, if he's laying face down on his shoulders, it was more coming from like under him, around like
From
his
like
shoulder.
the chest area?
Yeah, from between like the bed and him. So that's why I didn't know, all right, is this something that's going to start on fire? But then once we got closer, taking a closer look, that's when you could really smell, and it burned inside of your nose, and you could really taste it. So I'm like, hey, we got to clear the guys out of there. This is some kind of chemical that's mixing.
Okay. Did you eventually then get a statement from Yoko Willette, the deceased mother?
I talked to her.
Okay.
I didn't get like an official statement like a detective.
You spoke with her.
I spoke
Is that right?
with her.
What did she share with you?
She shared with me that she last saw them.
And it's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, it's just for the investigation and what led to the investigation. So after taking this statement or speaking with Yoko,
Yes.
and conducting that initial investigation, did you eventually call the lieutenant to come out?
Yes, the patrol supervisor. Yeah, that's your job. You get there, make sure the crime scene is locked down, taped off, so all the evidence and the crime scene's preserved. Then that's why I spoke to her to get a brief story, so I could report up my chain. So once I get the story, my guy's observations, the story from mom, I put that together. I call my watch commander, and then we make notifications to get detectives and crime scene to come out to the scene to hand over the investigation to them.
And did you learn through your investigation that there were children as well involved?
Yes.
Okay. And were you attempting to locate those children?
Yes, and that was because the mom had, and part of my conversation with her said that he was supposed to take the kids to school.
Okay. And I believe you mentioned there was crime scene tape that was put up around the residence to lock it down as well.
Yes.
Okay. And while you were waiting for the lieutenant as well as other investigators to arrive, did you also still investigate the scene and look around for different things of evidentiary value?
Yes, the male's truck was outside, so we moved the crime scene tape around the truck. Noticed, I think, what we thought there were spots on the driveway that we thought may be evidence. So, yeah, and at that point, I kind of break away once it's secure, and then I start kind of getting my thoughts and the information put down, because when the detectives and crime scenes show up, it's my responsibility to give them a brief when I turn over the scene.
And as part of your duties as well, did you initially send individuals, other officers, to canvass for different surveillance footage as well?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of standard protocol on the crime scenes. Once you have everything secure, your extra officers go out, try and find witnesses. Other officers go and try and video surveillance that may have caught something.
So you mentioned that you were putting together a brief for this case, is that right?
Yes.
And as part of that brief, is there an event number and a report number assigned to the case?
Yes.
Can you tell us the difference between the two?
Well, the event number is a longer number. It's the year, the month, the day, and then the number of calls in that 24-hour period. So at midnight, the next police emergency call that comes in will be year, month, day, 0001. The 10th call will be 0010. So that's how the event numbers cover the 24-hour period of police work. And then the report number covers the annual period of police work for police reports taken. So it'll start with the year and then the number of report it is. So January 1st, 1201, the first police report taken will be, for next year, will be 26, 4 zeros and a 1.
Okay. So starting then with the event number, in this case, do you have a reason to dispute that the event number was HP 230807000355?
No.
Okay. And the report number for this case, do you have a reason to dispute it being 23-15229?
No.
Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
And so while you're doing your briefing, eventually detectives and crime scene analysts eventually show up to the scene. Is that right?
Yes.
And after they showed up, what did you do?
So they showed up. I let them know about the chemical smell, the possible hazard, and the smoking. And then, like I said, I give them a brief. Basically, I write up. It has the report number, location, the rescue that was on scene, their information, the initial patrol officers that made entry with them, the time they made entry, then the information of the deceased, the information of the other people in the home. It's just basically like an overview of what we have. And then that there was no obvious weapon on the scene, and just kind of some of the abnormal, typical things that we talked about already.
And so after you give this briefing, does your role cease at that point?
Yes, that's when, if they have any questions, they would ask questions. Then I do a walkthrough with them, showing them where my officers went, what we did, things that we thought may possibly be important, and then turn over the scene to them, and then we move out, and then they handle it. So I would then look at my staffing and see how many people do I need here for this. For sure, one for the crime scene log up front, and then I start clearing guys off the call to go clear up other calls that are pending.
Thank you. Court's indulgence. State passes the witness, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Sergeant Seals, you've been employed in law enforcement for 28 years.
Yes, sir.
Worked your way up.
Yes, sir.
You're an instructor.
Yes, sir.
A lot of experience.
Yes.
You testified that you've been in multiple crime scenes through these 28 years.
Yes.
Fair to say that, a severed appendage, an arm or a leg is going to bleed, but a head, I mean, there's got to be a lot more blood going on there, correct? One would assume.
You would think so.
And you would testify that when you got there, having been on so many crime scenes, you go and you look in the bathroom because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're assuming this head wasn't, removed from the body here on the bed. It had to have been somewhere else. Fair to say?
No, I didn't say that. It seemed like because the shoulders were pulled to the edge of the bed, it appeared that it was done there. But I was looking to see, because the shoulders pulled over here. It didn't appear that it was done somewhere else.
But you said you went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yeah, to see if there was like cleanup, signs of struggle, or something.
Blood?
Yeah, blood from washing your hands. Because I looked in the sink around the ring and didn't see anything that.
Based upon the blood markings on the bed, it was clear the body had been moved.
I can't say that. I don't.
Okay. Can't give an opinion one way or the other?
Well, the body was here. There was blood on the right side of the body. And like I said, directly under where the shoulders were, there was an area of blood like that. But I don't,
But you testified things just didn't seem right, and that's why you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes.
And, you'd agree with me, you talk about a bucket, that's just, you're speculating. You're hypothesizing, fair to say.
Absolutely.
And fair to say that you can't say. If something was wrong, so you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct? Based upon what you saw.
Based on what I saw, like I said, that is speculation, but it's like what made sense with the way that the blood was, the body was, lack of blood on the thing, the shoulders lined up with the side. And part of me going into the bathroom also is just before I turn things over to detectives, I want to make sure that I checked everything in case they have questions for me.
Fair enough. But again, you would have expected to have seen a lot more blood, correct? Had
Yes.
the head just been chopped off or sawed off or however removed there, correct?
If they were alive at the time, because typically when I have seen those injuries, if you're alive, your blood is pumping and it squirts. It's, I've seen a guy cut his neck and it squirts.
All over the place. Have you ever had any cases
If they're
where
alive.
You ever had an experience, though, where a head's been cut off with a saw? Oh, people were dead.
Not that I know of.
Okay, so we don't know then. Fair to say?
Fair to
But you
say.
went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for the witness, sir, you can write your question on a full sheet of paper with your name and your juror number. Can counsel approach?
Yes, ma'am. Judge.
In speaking to the homeowner, Yoko, were the dogs hers or the victim? Did she tell you?
The only thing, the direct answer to your question is, I don't know whose they were.
Okay. Was it no? Did she tell you if it was normal for them to be locked out based on your conversation with Yoko?
She said it was abnormal.
Okay. State any follow-up based on the juror question?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, have any further questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response, sir, you are excused. Thank you very much for your testimony here today.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next witness is going to take a little bit of time, so we're going to take a brief bathroom break, and the next witness will take us through the rest of the day. During this break, we must not discuss